I'm very serious pain. Nobody to attend to me.
Nurses like Olusanya Mopelola said the Nigerian government ignored their long working hours and staffing shortages.
We have suffered enough. We have suffered a lot. People are sick. And this is the same health sector that will take care. It's like we are taking care of people, but honestly, we are heroes unsung. Nobody wants to reckon with what nurses are going through. So we are grossly understaffed. The shortage is enormous and is telling on generality of the nurses.
It is no longer news that nurses, under the aegis of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Federal Health Institutions sector, have commenced a 7-day warning strike. The strike actually commenced yesterday, despite appeals by the federal government. The union said the action, which began at midnight, became necessary following the expiration of a 15-day ultimatum issued on July 14, demanding improved welfare, fair allowances, and better working conditions for nurses across federal health institutions. The national chairman of the association, Morankiyo Riwan, on Tuesday stated that the federal government failed to engage meaningfully with the association during the window provided. The nurses' demands include the upward review of shift allowance, adjustment of uniform allowance, implementation of a separate salary structure for nurses, increased core duty allowance, mass employment of nurses, and the creation of a dedicated nursing department in the Federal Ministry of Health. Riwan stressed that the decision to strike was not unilaterally taken by the union's leadership, but driven by a groundswell of frustration amongst members over long-standing neglect. He also noted that the profession had endured poor conditions for decades. According to the union, the warning strike is scheduled to end on August 5. However, should the government remain unresponsive, the union said it would serve a fresh 21-day ultimatum in line with labor laws ahead of a possible indefinite strike. Already the federal government has reacted through the Minister of Labor. He said the nurses should come back to the negotiating table. There is nothing that cannot be discussed and resolutions reached.
It's unfortunate. I don't think that my daughter wakes up today and says she wants to read nursing. Believe me, because I've never seen a profession that has been bastardized like the nursing profession, especially in this Abia state. Because the thing was so far. Government institution read nursing for 5 years, and then the person will be looking for a job. But the private hospital would rather go and employ an auxiliary nurse, the one he will pay 30,000 naira or 25,000 naira. And the girl is employing at that amount will work morning and night shift. She's working like the usual nurse. Like they don't even have time for themselves. And then you pay them peanuts and then abandon the professionals after spending 5 years in school. And then you see everybody in the neighborhood is wearing white. Even the one where just go learn for one chemist. All of them are nurse.
They call them Eliza nurse.
Nurse. They get an echo. Nurse. When in your heart of hearts you know that you are nowhere near N, Belente nurse. It's just unfortunate. Very noble profession back in the days. When we see them on the streets, we admire them. They were looking just cute and noble. But now, everybody is a nurse. And now look at what they are facing even at the national level. And you're saying come to the negotiating table. Is this the first time they started crying? We're always waiting until it has entered the strike action before we begin to take those calls seriously. It's just unfortunate. And then you complain about brain drain. You say, oh, don't japa. The conditions are not right. Why would the person not japa? To where they will pay her thousands of dollars for the same thing she will do, or even less.
Oh, it's quite unfortunate. The truth is, if you take a look at most people who are even studying nursing today, I can bet you that majority of them are doing so just for them to get the experience and leave the shores of this country. And the question is, why do these people have this mindset? It is because they have taken a look at their predecessors. Every now and then, it is fight over salary, it is fight over allowance, it is fight over working condition. I was at the FMC Umaya some months back, and you could see it on the nurses, their faces. They are practically weighed down. They say it openly that their colleagues have relocated and there was no plan to recruit replacements. A job that someone like 3 persons are supposed to do, one person will end up doing it. And guess what? The person will not even get the correct salary if you compare it with what her contemporaries earn in other parts of the world.
Our colleague, Godwin Ike, the was put to bed. She been yesterday.
That's right, yesterday.
He told me that, Nas, every drug, everything I bought was outside. They will just write it on a paper for you. Go and buy it. Outside. In a federal, I'm quoting, I'm stressing, Federal Medical Center, FMC. He said, Nas, what is this? I said, my brother, I just see him now.
Well, when the politicians leave the shores of this country, they tell you they are going for vacation, going for this.
Check out.
Exactly. They collect the money here, money that would have been used to develop the health sector here. They use it to fly outside, take care of themselves, get access to a working environment that was created by human beings like them. They would come back here instead of replicating what they have seen overseas. They would never do that. You hear them here that you hear them say, "Hey, during my first 2 years in office, I erected the best hospital in the world." But the same man would have a headache. The same man who bragged about or of erecting the best hospital in the world would not deem that hospital fit to attend to his headache. The nearest flight, you see him, he has zoomed off to France, to the UK, to Saudi Arabia, even Egypt. Some of these men now go to Egypt, not to talk about India. So if these people really mean well, they should invest this money that they are taking outside. I saw statistics recently that Nigerians spend over $1 billion annually in hospitals overseas. Imagine the effects that over $1 billion would have in the health sector in Nigeria. That's the one we know. Those who are in the corridors of power have a way of hiding their own because it is the government that is funding their health trip. So they hide it, they make it a secret, you don't even get to know. If the real figure should come out, it should be around maybe $3 billion that people who are supposed to make the health system here work end up spending outside. And the same people would wake up in the morning and ask the nurses and doctors not to leave, whereas the environment they work in is practically nothing to write home about. Their welfare, almost zero. So the bottom line this morning is we can do better. It is not enough for the federal government to tell the nurses not to strike. We understand how critical the role they play is, or the roles they play are. But at the same time, it appears that's the only language that the federal government understands. If you do not strike, you will not get the attention. I can bet you that these nurses have been complaining for long, but nothing was done. You heard what the spokesperson said. Until they decided to down tools for 7 days, the labor minister all of a sudden is now alive, asking them to come back to the negotiating table.